We have breaking news here on Steelers Talk as the Pittsburgh Steelers are signing wide receiver Scotty Miller in NFL free agency to a one-year contract. And guys, we're going to be breaking down Scotty Miller, his game, what this means for the wide receiver position for the Steelers moving forward, and if a trade for a legit number 2 receiver is still on the table. But before we get into today's breaking news action, make sure you click that subscribe button because this is why you subscribe to the channel, folks, and that's why you turn on your notifications. When there's breaking news action, we are going to get a video out to you guys breaking down the move, whether it's a cut, whether it's a signing, whether it's a trade. We got you guys covered right here on Steelers Talk with breaking news coverage for the Pittsburgh Steelers every single time it happens, 100% free. So if you want breaking news updates throughout the offseason and all year round, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. So let's talk a little bit about Scotty Miller here, formerly with the Atlanta Falcons last year, and then he was a Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers previously. He ran a 4.3 flat at his combine a few years back. So he's definitely fast, but he's also extremely tiny. 5'9", 174 pounds. Last year he did have 2 touchdowns with Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons. So it's yet another Atlanta Falcon or former Atlanta Falcon that was there during the Arthur Smith regime that is now coming to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And listen, man, Scotty is somebody that I think is, he's fine, okay? He's smaller, but he gives great effort as a run blocker. He's also very fast, and he's a good deep threat. He's had some pretty nice concentration catches down the field. He tracks the ball better than somebody, say, like a Quez Watkins. So I do think Scotty Miller is going to have a very good chance, especially with the way the wide receiver room is currently constructed here in Pittsburgh, to really carve himself out a really reliable role in this offense. He's kind of been used more as a slot option, but he can play outside as well in kind of like these condensed splits that Arthur Smith likes to run. He's definitely an Artie Smith kind of guy here, so it doesn't necessarily surprise me that he advocated to bring Miller here to the Steel City. Now, be honest with me. Down there in the comments section, what is your one-word reaction to signing Scotty Miller? Let me know down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. In just a second here, I'm going to be talking about our sponsor today at Mando, and when we're talking about Mando here, and then after I'm done talking about Mando, I'm going to give you my one-word reaction. So while I'm talking about Mando here, go down there and let me know your one-word reaction. With that, let's have a word from our sponsor here, from Mando Whole Body Deodorant. A big shout out to Mando for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. And you can get $5 off a starter pack today when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. So no matter how you want to deodorize your body, Mando has got you covered with their vast array of products. Don't let foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory by taking advantage of their special offer for new customers of $5 off their best-selling starter pack when you go to shopmando.com and use code CHAT. And guys, I've been using Mando Whole Body Deodorant products here ever since we started partnering with them, and they started off by giving us like these little samples. Here, this is their body wash. It's bourbon leather. I have an entire bottle of this stuff back at my apartment here in Dallas, Texas now because it smells that good. It's a super masculine, fresh scent that keeps you smelling fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and then 2 free products of your choice. So I highly recommend the mini body wash that I just talked about and showed you guys, and then also the deodorant wipes have excellent reviews as well. Plus you get free shipping here, so you have no excuse not to try it out. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. A big thank you to Mando Whole Body Deodorant for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. So my one-word reaction to signing Scotty Miller here is, really? This is the move that you're going to go out and make at the wide receiver position after all these weeks of speculation around Brandon Ayuk, Cortland Sutton, DK Metcalf, all of these big names that have been connected to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The move that you're making at wide receiver is going to be Scotty Miller. Now, listen, man, I think Scotty can provide potentially some value to the Pittsburgh Steelers here, but if you're trying to get somebody to be like a legit number 2 receiver or maybe a number 3 receiver, I'm just not sure if this is exactly the move that I would have wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers to make. Now, at least Scotty can play a little bit on the outside. He did pretty much split what he did last year with Atlanta. He played a little bit in the slot. About half his reps came in the slot, and then about half his reps came outside. So, this is somebody that's got a little bit of that versatility. If Roman Wilson gets hurt, you can put him in the slot. But it's yet another really a smaller wide receiver. I mean, you can add him to the list of Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin III of guys that are just smaller wide receivers that are deep threats, right? So you're collecting a bunch of these players on the roster, and right now George Pickens is the one guy on the roster that you can really say is that bigger run blocker, true contested catch winner down the boundary on this football team, and I want the Steelers to add another one of those kinds of presences, okay? Because right now you've got these kind of 3 smaller type wide receivers that are more gadget type guys, more slot guys, true deep threats, take the top off the defense. But you don't have enough size in this wide receiver room right now, in my opinion. You do have Van Jefferson, and, he's fine, and he actually might end up being the true wide receiver 3, not Scotty Miller here. But right now, it definitely seems like George Pickens and Roman Wilson are going to be locked-in starters, and then guys like Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin III, Van Jefferson, and Quez Watkins, and who knows, maybe Denzel Mims or Marquez Callaway are going to compete for that 3rd wide receiver spot throughout the offseason program and throughout training camp this year. Now, I would still like to go out and get another bigger type wide receiver to be the true outside threat number 2 option for Russell Wilson to utilize. And the name to watch here, guys, is Treylon Burks, wide receiver from the Tennessee Titans, a former first-round pick out of the University of Arkansas. And right now, the Tennessee Titans, they're adding a lot of wide receivers to their room, right? They added Calvin Ridley this offseason. They added DeAndre Hopkins last offseason. He's still there. And then, of course, this week they just signed Tyler Boyd. So they've got their threesome of wide receivers there. And Treylon Burks it definitely seems like they're trying to phase him out. And right now, there's multiple reports indicating that there are teams calling about the availability of Treylon Burks. And honestly, guys, I think he's going to come pretty cheap. I would probably offer a 7th-round pick, but it might be something around the lines of like a conditional 6th-round pick that turns into a 7th if he doesn't play enough. But I look at Treylon Burks' skill set. He's a bigger wide receiver. I mean, he was somebody that was supposed to just straight up replace A.J. Brown's role in that Tennessee Titans offense. He's bigger. He's a good run blocker. He's good after the catch. He can win contested catch situations. He's dealt with some injuries. He's dealt with some pretty bad quarterback play. So the production hasn't been there to this point in his career, but he's only 24 years old. He's still extremely talented. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you don't want to spend a 1st-round pick to go get DK Metcalf or Deebo Samuel or a 3rd-round pick to get Cortland Sutton, maybe you would rather give up a late day 3 pick to get a guy like Treylon Burks, who still has a lot of potential. So grade the move down there in the comment section for Scotty Miller, A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the signing for Scotty Miller to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, for me, guys, I'm going to give it a C+. I definitely want to add another wide receiver that's kind of a bigger presence, somebody that's going to be a true dominating run blocker to this room, and I just don't think Scotty Miller is moving the needle much in terms of a big wide receiver move that we have been expecting from the Steelers all throughout this time. Now, I do think Omar Khan is going to be continuing to stay on the phones here. He's going to continue to try to see what he can get on the trade market for some of these wide receivers. I'm hoping that they can land a Deebo Samuel or a Cortland Sutton or, maybe even a Treylon Burks for the right price. I really hope a move still happens here, because if you're going into the season with this wide receiver room, with Roman Wilson as your bona fide number 2 receiver, and then a bunch of these like wide receiver 4 or 5 types battling it out for the 3rd spot, I'm just not sure if you're really giving Russell Wilson the proper tools to succeed heading into the 2024 campaign. Now, we are going live today here on Steelers Talk, so make sure you turn on your notifications and click that subscribe button. It's going to be me and Jeremy Chuggs chopping it up here. We'll be talking a little bit about Scotty Miller. We'll be talking about the latest trade rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to be revealing my perfect offseason plan for your Pittsburgh Steelers on today's show, so make sure you click that subscribe button and join us at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later today.